Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Dan, Minnesota writes, I thought we might get through the Kernan conversation with a donut on the nerd counter.
Oh, no.
But it quickly escalated from 0 to 8. That's all it takes is one. The first nerd reference generally means several more are right around the corner. Because sometimes you do need that first one, though, to open the floodgates.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
That's exactly it, and we got there.
You know me, Dan. I hate nerds.
Nepo Baby Baseball. That was another good one from Kernan. There are all sorts of good nuggets.
I just like how he goes, I write what I want. If you don't like it, just move along.
That's right. That's it. That's it. The beauty of it. Russo from the Fallness Dungeon in about 15 or 20 minutes. Inbox yet to come. What's the top 5 going to be?
Well, I think we got to just at least let you know that Kyler Murray was expected in Minneapolis today, or Eagan today, and that's where we think he is. Multiple pictures have surfaced from unsubstantiated places that they had the whole presentation. Welcome, Kyler Murray. There's pictures in the lobby. Who knows if it's at the airport? Who knows there? But Pelissero mentioned it last night, among others, all of our Vikings people, that he's going to be doing a series of calls with people for free agency.
I want to see it. I'm sorry.
See what?
I want to see him. I mean, you can have the pictures up saying, here's, because a couple people texted, said, there's welcome Kyler Murray signs in the video. That's great, but that doesn't mean he's there. That could be a ruse. I want to see him. Why can't one of our jackals, you want to talk about great tabloid journalism? Somebody's got to get a picture of him there, a video of him there.
You know how things have changed? And I always think of this because it's free agency time, but it used to be that they would always, Spielman must have had a nice deal at Capitol Grill because they would always have the big dinners at Capitol Grill, and then like Gessling and Seifert would have to sit out there on the sidewalk.
That's correct. Like a vigil.
Mm-hmm. And wait for Kirk Cousins to walk out. I'm looking at a picture from 2018 of Kirk Cousins walking out of Capitol Grill, and there's cameras and there's phones, and that's what we used to do. But now they don't really do it that way.
Why is that? I like that way better. This is too close.
I know. We have the best.
Or we're going to bring the food in, all that. Why?
So I think what you need to do is go to Viking Omni Lakes Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And rent a room that has a view of the facility, and then just have a really long camera lens and just take a bunch of pictures.
Telescopic lenses. Yeah.
That's the only way, and then hope that you're on the right side. So I've never gone in the main entrance at TCO. Like, even for training camp.
Well, isn't that the entrance No, I guess it isn't.
No, I mean, the training, the place we go.
Oh, you're talking about, non-training camp.
I'm just thinking about for, like, the building.
Right,
I don't remember ever, because I don't really cover the Vikings during the season, right?
Where's the museum? I've gone through that entrance. Is that a main entrance?
No, I don't think it is.
It's not, okay.
I think past, there's that gate that you have to go through, and then everybody parks.
The electrified gate.
Yeah, I think it's, of course.
Yeah.
I think it's up that way.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So I've never been in the main entrance. I don't know if you could get a look at the main entrance. Remember, because somebody, when Harbaugh was here, did talk to him, and I think it was outside the hotel or by the hotel, because I think Harbaugh stayed the night, possibly.
Oh, he did? I didn't remember that. Interesting. I thought he blew out when it got ugly. When it turned badly, and he was gone.
I don't remember specifically, but somebody caught a visual of him.
Okay.
So that's the rumor. He's there or has been there, and I don't think they do it like coach interviews where they'll say, we have conducted an interview with Dan Barrero. Remember?
What would be around Eagan the fanciest restaurant that kind of corresponds with the places you're talking about from downtown Minneapolis?
Good question.
Is there one that would apply?
There's got to be like a Sunfish Lake place or something that we don't know
you're
about.
Right, probably true.
Is there a supper club by the outlet mall? That seems pretty nice.
You would know. I mean, I haven't been to even an outlet mall in years.
Oh, it's a good spot.
Yeah.
That's a really good spot. It's only like 5 minutes from Mall of America, too, so you can bang back and forth.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, we need our Eagan correspondence. Where would you go in Eagan?
To wine and dine Kyler Murray.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know, because that's what we're hoping to do.
We'll get some ideas for sure.
Things are going great.
And we didn't do anything else, right? Vikings. There's really nothing else new that we're aware of.
I want to read you this text exchange from a buddy of mine.
Okay.
Who I bring up a lot. Where are we here? He's actually the guy that sent me that Julius Randle video that I showed you.
That's scathing. It's a I guess what you'd call a what's the word? What's the term for a mashup?
Yeah.
Of several undistinguished moments and
from last night.
Basketball atrocities committed by Julius Randle last night. And it does ring different when you see them all put together, to the extent that you might have noticed several of them individually, but you put them together and the casualness of his approach, and you go, my God. Now, maybe you can do that. Maybe you could have done that with Michael Jordan. I doubt it.
I doubt it, too.
But maybe at least good players you could do that with. I'm not sure. But it's a little frightening when it's put in that context. Correct. You're absolutely right.
So it's Thursday, March 12th, right? So this text exchange is from Thursday, March 5th.
The 5th. Okay, a week ago today.
He writes, Ants dunk tonight. My God. I say, yeah, nice win. Toronto's a real team. He responds, they played great in the second half. Feels like maybe they have turned the corner. I write back, enjoy it for this week and remember it when they lose 3 straight. He did. He sent this screenshot to me today because the
Wolves... Did he respond snarkily to your snark? Or did he accept it
just
at the time?
laughed.
He just laughed.
He
okay,
laughed.
He didn't fire back in anger.
No.
Okay.
But he did send me that screenshot today. Remember this? And I go, yeah, I see it clearly. And I knew this would happen.
Right.
Because it does. It's the Wolves. And I knew you'd overreact.
Yeah.
And if you were on the Gaardsy West Coast Wellness Plan, this would not have affected you as deeply as it has. Where, again, I did not stay up for 1 second of the game last night.
Right.
I went to bed. I woke up, saw that things weren't good. They did not go well. We turned the ball over 5 times in the first 2 minutes and 26 seconds.
17 times in the first half.
We got down by $1 million. Actually, sounds like made it somewhat interesting for a minute.
Briefly.
And then end up losing to Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. So, a couple of days ago, Wolves were very nicely in the 3rd spot. We were lamenting that they weren't further ahead in the 3rd spot by a game over Houston because they had just lost to Orlando.
Correct.
Now they are only a half game back of the 3rd spot, but they're behind Denver and they're behind the Lakers, who they lost to 2 nights ago.
And is it a game ahead of Phoenix or a game and a half?
Game and a half.
Yeah.
Game and a half.
That ain't great.
Well, especially when the Clippers right now are the 8th seed, 17 and a half. And I'm never going to buy into the Clipper hype, even though, as you said, I agree, Kawhi's playing great.
I thought you hated him, though, because of James Harden. He's not on that team anymore.
I understand, but there's such a jump. They're like the Nebraska football or Indiana basketball.
Didn't they start like
6 and 20?
6 and 21 or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're playing well.
Yeah, they're playing well.
But I will never buy into it.
Well, Kawhi is the key to it.
Yeah.
Because when he's playing like this, they are a different team. The issue with him is, can he hold up? His body so seldom holds up. Yeah, I don't view them as a team that's going to make a big run or anything. I think they could be dangerous probably in a first-round series, potentially, if Kawhi's playing like this. And we offered no meaningful resistance, right? I mean,
153 to 128 was the score.
Obviously, as you say, the turnovers early were a joke, and then it was we're not guarding, and Kawhi was very good anyway, but we're not bothering to guard. And I think that's the most points we've ever given up, isn't it?
It could be. I don't know off the top of my head.
Given how many bad defensive teams we've had over the years,
good point.
That's saying something, even though I know, we're in more of a scoring era than we've been for several years.
45 points for Kawhi Leonard. Tomorrow night, the Golden State Warriors host the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's a 9 o'clock Central tip on Prime Video. And if you're not familiar with the Gaardsy West Coast Wolves watch plan, wellness plan,
might want to be, yeah.
You don't watch. Because if you are a Wolves fan, like me, member of the Timberwolves Breakfast Club in 1989, waiting in line for Bill Musselman's autograph, a picture I carry around with me to this day for the most part. It'll ruin your night, and you'll sit there doom scrolling and waiting for Johnny Athletic or Dane Moore or Jace Frederick.
And turn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they will eventually.
They probably will eventually, probably as soon as when they play Oklahoma City this weekend.
Yeah, could be.
On the road in OKC, and we'll win that game, and Ant will be insane, and Julius Randle might snap out of his now 2-month funk.
Is Jaden McDaniels allowed to score?
Well, he was earlier in the year. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He has not been so much lately.
No, that's for sure.
Straddle for Russo.
Yeah, let's do that. We got Russo coming up. I had one other item I wanted to get in the top 5, but it'll come to me in a minute. Meantime, questions for Russo, 64686, Bradshaw and Brian, KFAN text line.
KFAN.
Kevin Falna's Dungeon. Russo Radio, kind enough to join us. If you have questions for him, as always, you can hit 64686 and offer up an observation, a pithy comment, a controversial question. Any of those things will work. I do have a question for you, not hockey. What's kind of hockey related, but it's sort of in the weeds a bit. Tomorrow, Bill Guerin is going to be a co-host of the Enough Said TV program that Gaardsy and I work on along with Lori Fisher. Start to finish. He's going to be on the entire show.
Nice.
On the set. So give us some ideas about how we should go about either getting him going or getting the best out of Bill Guerin in that setting, because that's a little bit of a different setting that we're accustomed to with Guerin. We're accustomed to the radio stuff. This will be TV, more visual stuff. So what's the best approach with Guerin tomorrow?
Ask him how the Wild are going to get over the hump this postseason. That'd be a good one.
He loves that one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He loves that one.
Did I tell you that when he was doing during the Olympics, he used the term that we got over the hump?
Yes.
With you afterwards. And I immediately sent him a text. I'm like, so why is it okay that the USA, got over the hump, but I can't say the Wild? That would probably be it. I mean, get him going on the playoff format that LaPanta loves and that everybody in the world hates.
Yes, that's true. I know
it's idiotic. Yeah. And I don't think that Billy's a big fan of it either.
Well, here's how I'm going to get him going there. I think the approach I'm going to take to try to get him going. I'm going to go. I hear all this whining a lot of people are doing about the format, and I'm saying to myself, Billy, if you're that good, if you're as good as you're supposed to be, and everybody says you now are, why not say bring it on? We'll take all comers just to see if I can get him going that way, get his face red.
Well, there's also a parallel that you can make to the U.S. Olympic team, and that's that their quarterfinal might have been as hard as any. They basically had to play a gold medal type of quarterfinal against Sweden, and it kind of battle tested them for the last couple rounds. So the semis and the gold medal game. So maybe that's a good omen for the Wild. But, I could tell you many, many different ways that I've gotten them riled up, but usually it's something I've written or said.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So we'll keep that between us.
I do. It was Lori Fisher's idea. I give her credit.
I think it's great.
And I admit I was so haughty because I left it to her to try to get it going. And all the time I'm very smugly thinking she's going to come back to us and say she needs help. And, I'll text her. I'll help you out. Well, guess what? Got it done without any help. I never got that text back. She took care, negotiated the whole thing with media relations people and Guerin's people, and so I got to give her credit.
Everybody's branching out. I hear Gaardsy is about to do some TV girls basketball too, and now Billy's gonna be doing talk shows, basically.
And now Gaardsy wants to be in Craig Kilborn's new movie that he
I heard
revealed.
That.
So it's unbelievable. That would be double digits on jobs for Gaardsy. I think you'd be at 10 or 11, wouldn't you, at that point?
Yeah. I mean, hey, you got to have passive incomes. You got to have different revenue streams. At least I do.
Revenue streams, yeah. That's
I am looking forward, though. It's going to be an interesting thing for me tomorrow, Russo, because Lori Fisher, wants to basically bring Nordo and tell Bill Guerin multiple hockey-related jokes that she's been workshopping on us.
That's dangerous.
Dan wants to just get him going, and I'm just trying to think about how I'm going to be in the middle of this, it's going to be the easiest day of my life.
Voice of reason.
It's going to be the easiest show of my life on Enough Said. I'm basically just going to sit there and be a sidekick like I usually am. But I'm curious where I'm going to fit in on this because I don't think you can take opposite approaches between Lori and the bad hockey jokes and Dan trying to get him going.
What time do you guys tape? Maybe I'll just show up.
Noonish.
And, that'll get him going.
Yeah, noonish. So you can hang around.
Yeah, that's good that you're pre-taping too, because then if there are some swear words on there, you could just cut it right out rather than dumping it.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it is, I think in the I don't know how many years that we've been doing the show, going all the way back to when Ron was on it with me.
Over 10.
It's got to be over 10.
Yeah.
I think we started over literally 5 times. Maybe. And that's, you just do the old, all right, you act like it's live, even though it's not live, because it's better if you start doing that, where you're going back and, we didn't like that.
Yeah, you're right.
You drive yourself crazy. Kyler Murray?
Tom Pelissero, 1-year contract with the Vikings. His agent, Eric Burkhart, tells him And Ian Rappaport, the deal includes a no-tag clause. Murray will make $36.8 million this season, with Arizona paying all but the minimum salary. So the Kyler Murray era is upon us. Halby, thanks for texting me and letting me know because I hadn't refreshed Twitter. So, Fallness, he's not working on your show right now. He's working on ours, which we appreciate.
No, he's eating meatballs and somehow still saw that. I mean, I'm watching him. I was actually just totally distracted by him downing meatballs right now, and somehow he broke news.
You can do it. You can do it all. Thank you, Halby.
Yeah, not surprising. All right, so does that probably mean Aaron Rodgers' dream is dead?
Unfortunately for you, I think it does. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're going to bring Rodgers in to compete with him at this point, right?
Hey, three
Does
quarterbacks.
Pelissero say it's his job? Does he get into the weeds about whether it's his job and
Not in that
JJ's
tweet.
just got to sit for another year?
Not in that tweet.
I wonder who'll get hurt first, Kyler Murray in training camp. I mean, Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy?
It's a good prop bet.
Injuries are a problem. All right, well, we'll follow up with that, too, for sure. But now Pelissero saying what seemed obvious all day is now apparently about to become official on Kyler Murray. J.J. McCarthy, a comment yet to come. Here's a good text that I think will be good for you to react to. This is from the other 218 guy. He says, I was born in Minnesota, always lived in Minnesota, live and die with our teams. Is it truly okay to start believing in this Minnesota Wild team?
I mean, I think so. I think this is as good a team as I've covered. But again, I mean, look, when you got to play Dallas, most likely in the first round, unless they can somehow catch Colorado or you're playing Colorado, you still got to beat these teams. I mean, the Wild are facing a Dallas Stars team potentially in the playoffs that is right now on a 12-0-1 stretch, and with a goaltender that just, by the way, never seems to ever lose against the Minnesota Wild, especially in this building. So, I think that there's a reason to believe and still know that they've got a tough task ahead of them. But I think, I was just talking to Rick Tocchet about it. He thinks that the one thing that Quinn Hughes does that few defensemen in this league can do is tilt a 7-game series in your favor. And he really believes that the team that Bill Guerin is putting together here is going to be a contender, not just this year, but for years to come. Obviously, they got to re-sign Quinn and all that type of stuff. But I look at, name how many teams in this league have 3 bona fide superstars on a team. It's very few. Colorado, maybe, the Wild. Obviously, there's not that many other than that. And you got 2 play-driving wingers and a superstar defenseman in Quinn. So I think there's a lot to like about this team. And I look at their bottom 6 as being deeper than both Dallas and Colorado, actually. So I think there's a lot to like about this team. And the way that Gus is playing right now, I think there's a reason to like. I'm starting to feel like, though, I'm talking like Kevin Gorg. Like, if this morning I was listening to PA. If I was by a sports book, I probably would have dumped my life savings on the Wild to win the Cup after listening to Gorgie on PA.
Do we think the kid goaltender might have also sort of recaptured the promise that he had shown earlier in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He's playing again tonight, which is, the way that they did go back. That was what was going on earlier in the season. It didn't matter if somebody got a shutout the night before. They'd go with the other goaltender. So I'm not going to say that they're going to go back to their strict rotation here, but I think the fact that Jesper Wallstedt played so well against the Avalanche the other night, I think is the reason why he's playing tonight, even though that Gus got the shutout against Utah. So, Wally, there's something about these big games that he gets up for. It's usually teams like Philadelphia that he seems to have the struggles with. He just seems to love the pressure and love the big games, and we've seen him play incredibly well against a lot of playoff teams this year. So we'll see how he does tonight against the Flyers, but that was certainly a tremendous performance the other night against Colorado.
What's our schedule? How tough is our schedule the rest of the season?
I mean, it's actually pretty simple. I mean, their next bunch of games are against non-playoff teams. We're starting tonight against Philadelphia. Then you got the Rangers coming town. You got Toronto, who's been lousy this year on a second of a back-to-back. You've got home and home against Chicago that hasn't been very good. So, I mean, they've got a lot of games, but a lot of very winnable games. I think that that right now the goal of the rest of the season is just to figure out a way to stay healthy, because they have been just really good. They've been really fortunate to not lose any of their big guns this year. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing is right now you've got a lot of bodies here, and try to get some of them in and out. But right now their schedule does look very easy.
Does Bobby Brink have a chance to become kind of a late-breaking folk hero the rest of this season? A, because the name trips off the tongue. It's very alliterative. Yeah. He's one of us, etc. Where do you think he's likely to fit in here? Because I think he's going to be, if he can be a factor, I think he's going to very quickly become a very popular player.
Well, we saw the other night he adds definite scoring punch to the third line. He certainly did that the other night. Played outstanding with Yurov and Tarasenko. The one thing I will say is his first two games with the Boldy and Eriksson Ek line, there wasn't a lot of scoring chances there. And then miraculously, Johansson comes back in the lineup and they start to produce. So I think that JoJo is still probably your second line winner, even with the Brink's acquisition. I don't know if Brink is playing tonight. It's his old team. I know that he wants to play, but it certainly looked this morning like he was not going to play. It's very clear that he hurt his shoulder the other night. I don't think it's a major injury, but I think they got to be careful. But I will say again, I just talked to Rick Tocchet 10 minutes before I came on with you, and he absolutely loves Bobby Brink. Thinks he has a chance to be a great player. Loves his compete, and loves his skill level, and thinks that he's going to fit in perfectly here. And I don't think I've talked to you since the trade deadline, but what I liked about this trade that I wasn't expecting is that in this trade they do get a 24-year-old winger, so somebody that's a pending RFA that they could re-sign and has potentially a future here in Minnesota. And I hate to say it always like this, but the other thing you have to look at is it gives them another asset too if they want to throw into a trade this offseason. So this is an organization that's traded away a lot of assets the last couple of years, trading Huzadinov, trading in the Juracek trade, obviously the Quinn Hughes trade. And so the more young assets you add to the organization, the easier it could be to, one, have a player here, but two, maybe parlay that player into something else this offseason. And we know that Bill Guerin continues to want to go get even one more star, whether that's a center or even a winger.
Thank you, Russo. We will chat next week. Appreciate you.
Yep, see ya. Take care.
Russo Radio from the Fallness Dungeon. The news has broken. The Kyler Murray era of Minnesota Vikings football. I never thought I'd say that. Certainly under these conditions. Apparently is about to begin. We'll give you some more details and quick instant. Wait, I guess that's almost redundant. Let's just go with extremely off the cuff, perhaps even hot takey reaction to that story. That's next. The Vikings have confirmed what is now the obvious. Kyler Murray has joined the club on a 1-year contract, and I believe it's been reported, was it by .com Tom, that there is a no-tag clause in the deal, which means we can't franchise him
if it goes well,
or transition him, one would assume, if it goes well. I'm going to offer up something controversial there.
That's interesting.
I wouldn't have given it to him. I wouldn't have. Now, you could say, well, do you want him? Because if you don't give it to him, he's going to walk. And I would say, to where? Would he really, in his heart of hearts, when it comes down to it, be willing to go to, let's say, the Rams to sit for an entire year? Maybe he would. It's a great organization. But the Jets already had made their move. Who is left to offer him what is clearly a starting job, I would think? Now, in my mind, the Vikings shouldn't have to do that either. It'll be interesting to see the way they characterize it when I presume there's going to be a press conference, not today, but tomorrow.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm responding to an email to get a Zoom link. Today's Thursday, March 12th, right?
It is.
Kyler Murray will be on Zoom in about 8 minutes.
Really?
And Rob Brzezinski and Kevin O'Connell
Wow, they ain't messing around.
Will be on Zoom, I think, at 6:10. So we should run the Kyler, don't you think?
As much of
we should pull
both
it up
as we should.
Yeah,
could possibly.
We'll pull it up.
Yeah, 100%. Because again, I don't understand why you have to sing to his tune. Is he in that? Maybe you're Maybe what this tells you again is they're scared. They really are scared of J.J. McCarthy. No matter what they've said publicly, they're scared. And so we got to do what we got to do regarding whatever assurances we're going to give to the player. Now, maybe on the starting part, they're not going to make any assurance. But, I mean, what you're setting up is the potential of him having a great year and then walking again. Now, we've had some jackals say they're not convinced the Vikings could do that and look Justin Jefferson in the eye. In other words, if Kyler Murray ends up being the answer, or enough of an answer to lead them to a playoff berth and perish the thought of playoff victory, that they will not be able to do what they did with Sam Darnold, not twice, and again go to Justin Jefferson and say, now we think McCarthy's ready. I just don't think you can do that 2 times. So I guess that means potentially if you're not going to be able to franchise him, then in that scenario, you would be willing this time to do what you didn't do with Darnold, which presumably would be even more money than Sam Darnold got, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it probably be, because Kyler Murray had greater pedigree on the front end than Sam Darnold did, for sure. And so if he has a year where he takes them ffurther, then it's probably going to cost you even more money. Probably. And that's not going to be a 2-year deal, man. It's going to be at least 3 years, right? And so now you're back to, I don't know, $120 million, whatever the case may be. The one caveat I had, or the one compromise I did believe in on Darnold, as disappointed as I was with what took place, was considering franchising him. I think they could have. I don't think it was in the contract that he signed that they couldn't.
They could have. We talked about it a lot.
To not, right?
Correct.
To me, that was the way where you're not committing long term in case it doesn't work, but you are giving them.
Man, how good would that have been in hindsight?
Well, that's true. But that's
why Kwesi's not here.
That's part of it. That's why that's water under the bridge. So there we have it. What did you tell me yesterday, the day before? This will be year 8 for him, I believe.
Yes,
coming up
7 with Arizona. When we counted it up,
he has 0 playoff wins. I think he has 1 playoff appearance.
Correct.
And he was dreadful in that one game. We're certainly used to that around here. The last 4 seasons in passer rating, he's ranked 25th, 16th, 20th, and 23rd. Nothing to write home about, not particularly distinguished. The bet you're making is better franchise around him, more stability, and a head coach who is viewed as a guy who works very well, getting the best out of quarterbacks. That's the bargain, right? I mean, that's the bet. Because the record's the record. He's had some moments, but he's not had nearly enough of them. Last year, the Arizona Cardinals were better with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, a lifelong journeyman, basically, right?
Yeah.
Than with Kyler Murray. And that ultimately was the decision they made. Now, he ended up getting hurt, and then he sat out. I think he ended up playing 5 games last year. You're also betting that he'll stay healthy, when that's been a problem. He had the year before, he played all 17. And then the 2 years before that, he had a series of injuries as well. You know, we talked about this part of it with Tim Collishaw yesterday. Part of Collishaw's point is he's a really good runner. And he seemed reluctant to do it. Now, was that reluctance coached into him? Was that reluctance injury concerns? But his point was, if you're not your best chance with Kyler Murray to have a second life is you have to have him make running part of his diet, part of what makes him potentially most dangerous. I'll be very curious to see what the Vikings' philosophy will be on that. That's not something that the head coach has ever been particularly comfortable with, even though I think we felt McCarthy was a guy they said, okay, yeah, you can run a little bit. We don't want you to try to be Michael Vick, but you can run a little bit, right? But what he represents at his best as a running quarterback, does he even want to be that now? Does he even think he can be that now because of all the injuries that have taken place? I don't know. So this is supposed to start about 45? The Zoom?
In a couple of minutes. I just got the link. I pulled it up. And we've got time now, right?
Oh, that's, we
regular time.
We took the regular break. That's exactly it. So
we should be all right.
Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open at 64686. What do you think now that this is done? And I'm predicting what's going to happen is what always happens, is that even people who had doubts are going to bury the doubts because now he's our guy. And now we want to feel good about it. And, overall, you got to look at this. Given how little it's going to cost the Vikings to pay it, it's a no-lose situation. That's not exactly true. I'd say there's a lot to lose if he does not perform well. But my guess is you're going to hear a lot less about the concerns that a lot of people rightly had for weeks heading into all this speculation, and a lot more about what we loved about it and what we think he might represent. That's generally the way this thing goes. But what we're waiting for, if you're just joining us, is he's about to do one of those Zoom pressers. Is Kyler Murray?
I'm looking at a tweet from new quarterback one at K1.
Okay.
It just says skull. It's got a picture of him in a Vikings hoodie on one side.
He's already won over like half of the detractors right there. That's all it takes is a skull.
It's two pictures. One now with skull in the Vikings hoodie.
Yes.
And one when he's playing youth quarterback, the name of his youth team, apparently, Dan?
Of course.
The Vikings.
Now, is that true, or did he make that up?
I'm not as cynical as you. I think that's
absolutely true?
Yep.
That he would never stoop to those levels?
Why would he do that?
He doesn't need to do that, does he?
He does not.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
You might be right about that. And then you mentioned that the acting GM and the head coach are supposed to speak about 610. We might not be able to do much of that for obvious reasons, but if we can get the Zoom with Kyler, and I'm assuming then the Jackals will be asking him questions, right? It's not just going to be him giving a speech.
I doubt it. Yeah, I think we'll be asking him stuff.
We might as well run it. I mean, I think that makes all the sense in the world. What you are going to have, clearly, is a very motivated Kyler Murray, right? That's the assumption.
You would think so.
He has to have been humbled to a certain degree. A team has rejected him as a former number one overall pick and said, we're better off without you. And to that extent, and he's getting a second lease on life. He's still getting paid handsomely, right? And he's got a chance with the 1-year deal, the way it's set up, to set up his next massive contract, right? If it works out and he plays well. So he's got all the motivation in the world. Hunger is a good thing. That does play into the Vikings' favor. I will be, again, fascinated to listen to how specific the coach and maybe the GM get regarding competition versus Kyler Murray we expect to be our starting quarterback, right? And then there's already been discussion. We talked about this with Alec Lewis yesterday. What will the McCarthy camp do at that point? Will they demand a trade? He's got no leverage at this point. Now, the question is whether the Vikings might say, let's just end it now. I have no idea how they would think about that. Well, I mean, they get haughty. Again, in my heart of hearts, I invite the circus. We have an open competition at quarterback. We have a young quarterback that we still believe in, who we think is going to have a great offseason of base body Brosmer. And we've got a veteran who's been very promising in this league, has had some ups and downs, but has endless talent. But we're not promising anything to anybody. We're going to have a training camp in which we're going to have the best quarterback competition we've ever had here in Minnesota, at least since Wade Wilson and Tommy Kramer. And may the best man win. And that's harder to navigate because it can be circusy. But at this point, I don't think, in my heart of hearts, that's what should be done. But I don't know if you can. What the unknown is, would Kyler Murray have come here under that circumstance. Maybe he'll answer the question. Say, hey, I don't mind competing. I'll compete for anything. I haven't won anything yet. But my guess is what we've heard is it's more likely that pretty close to a promise already had to be given to him to be the starting quarterback if you want to make sure he doesn't leave the building the way Jim Harbaugh did. Right? The old cliche about you got your guy in, don't let him leave the building without signing him. Because once he leaves, you lose control of the situation, even though, like I said, I don't think there was another team looking for a starter. Right? Nobody else was left, I don't think, to look for a starting quarterback at this point, unless I'm forgetting a team. And you can text me, Bradshaw and Brian, KFAN, text line 64686. Can you get a first-round pick for JJ? I don't think so.
No.
But there might be, you never know that there might be one team. I mean, again, there might be a team smart enough, but I think the problem is the Vikings don't have any leverage either. We're going to it? We think Kyler
yes. Murray? All right, here's Kyler Murray.
Let's listen.
First and foremost, I want to thank God. I want to thank the Wilf family. I want to thank Rob. I want to thank Coach O'Connell for giving me this great opportunity. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to touch the field as a Minnesota Viking. It's a great day for me and my family. And again, I want to say I cannot wait to be touch that field and be a Minnesota Viking.
Questions?
Okay, Kevin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hey Kyler. Just kind of curious how you were viewing this part of your career after being in Arizona. Do you view this as you're coming in as the starting quarterback? Do you view this as a competition? I'm sure you probably expected to get that question at some point, so we might as well start it off there.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I look forward to coming in and competing, getting to learn the offense, getting to be with Coach O'Connell. Obviously, he's had a lot of success, and again, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to come in here and competing.
Hey, Kyler, congrats, man, first of all. Just curious, how far back does your Vikings fandom or your knowledge or interest in this organization go?
Thank you. Ever since I started playing tackle football, I was 7 years old. Genuine fandom. Ran deep, Vikings gear through and through. A lot of purple in my household. I don't want to bring it up right now, but maybe later, another day. It was a moment. I'll bring it up anyways. Whatever. I cried real tears whenever Brett threw that interception. I cried real tears that day.
It's my quarterback.
Come on.
Hey, Kyler, welcome to Minnesota. Just wanted to kind of get what the experience has been like. I'm sure you met with a lot of people today, and just kind of it's still probably sinking in and everything. But what's it been like? What was it like to reach out? And then I guess, had you heard anything about here from Byron?
Yeah, Murph hit me up earlier. It's been a great day, though. I met a lot of genuine, real people. They've done nothing but treat me with great respect and love so far since I've been here. I'm very appreciative of how today went. And again, I cannot wait to get in the building, compete, and just represent the Vikings.
Kyler, what excites you most, or what are you most looking forward to about working with Kevin O'Connell?
Me and KO go back to the Elite 11 days. I remember, during the combine, I had an interview with the Redskins at the time, Commanders, and he was with them, and he pulled me aside after my meeting with them, and ever since then, our relationship, he's always made sure to check in on me, whether it was after a game, things like that. So I always respected that. I always appreciated his opinion of me, and the support that he's given me. So for now, getting to play for him and have that relationship with him means the world. Obviously, he's had a lot of success with different quarterbacks, and he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So I'm looking forward to going to work with him.
Yeah, Kyler, where are you on a health standpoint? Obviously you had the foot deal last year.
Mm-hmm.
What was the extent of that foot injury, and where are you at with it now?
Yeah, I take extreme pride in my health, the way I take care of my body, and all the things that go into that. So, when that time comes, I'll be out on that field ready to go.
Kyler, how well do you know Justin Jefferson, and have you guys spoke, I don't know, at all in recent times?
We haven't spoke. No, we haven't spoke. I'm sure I'll talk to him here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, my last real interaction with Jettas is at the Pro Bowl. At the Pro Bowl, you know, we obviously got to spend some time together. Obviously, I'm super. Everybody knows what type of talent he is, what type of player he is, and his abilities through the roof. You know, I'm just super excited to get to work with him, be able to call him a teammate, get to go to war with him.
Yeah, Kyler, what are your real early top of head thoughts on the Viking scheme that Kevin O'Connell runs and how it matches up with your skills and abilities?
Yeah, I don't want to put any limitation on what that looks like. Again, I know he's had tremendous amount of success with multiple different quarterbacks. I know what my skill set brings to the game. I know what I'm capable of, and I think that again, like I said, I'm ready to come in and compete. And I can't wait to be under his tutelage and, like I said, get to go to war with not only Jets, but him too.
Hey, Kyler, congrats. Welcome to Minnesota. Welcome to the team. I know you touched on, obviously, your kind of fandom with the Vikings, how far back it went. On Instagram, you posted that throwback photo of you wearing the youth jersey. Just if you can kind of go back to that mindset, what do you think that however old you are in that picture, child Kyler would think about signing with the Vikings today?
Yeah, like I said, I never, never in a million years did I think that this was, going to come around full circle. Not even a thought in my head, but the opportunity presented itself. I again, just watching from afar what KOC's been able to do with quarterbacks, offense, the guys in place here, B-Flow and the defense. I think that it's a great fit. And like I said, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity. And I can't wait to get to work.
Time for two more.
Any other questions for Kyler? Oh, go ahead, Pierre.
Kyler, apologies if you were asked this already, but from what we've read, it's a one-year deal. How do you view the contract for yourself? Is this a prove-it type situation for you? How do you view it just being a one-year deal in terms of what that could mean for you with your future with the Vikings and in the league?
Yeah, I say contractually it doesn't really make a difference to me. Every year to me is a go out there and prove it year. Every time I step between those white lines, I take pride in how I play the game, what I bring to the game, and I want my teammates to know that I'm riding for them regardless of the circumstances, and they can count on me. So contractually, like I said, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna give this organization everything I got.
Anyone else? Cool. Thanks, Kyler.
There it is.
Thank you.
Your first opportunity, your first glimpse into the philosophy and quarterback, I guess you could say, passion of one Kyler Murray signed to a one-year deal by the Minnesota Vikings. If I'd had a question, I think mine would have been, Kyler, you don't expect to get any support from a run game, do you? Now, that'd be considered probably a leading question.
No, are you ready to be your own run game?
That's true. That's another way to look at it.
That's the way it's going to work.
That's exactly it. It's always an interesting strategy to sort of establish your Vikings fan bona fides by referring to the most gut-wrenching moment of Gaardsy's life athletically, the Brett Favre throw across the body interception.
Yeah.
Now, it can go two ways. You can say, bring that up, that's bad form. But you could also say, and I think this is going to be the latter for you because you're so easily taken in.
Bought off.
It was, he cried.
Real tears.
Real tears on that occasion.
Real tears.
So
Me too, Kyler.
I'm sure you melted, and you're willing, as much as you hate when I bring up those moments,
yeah,
you're willing to accept him bringing it up because he saved it with the, as you say, real tears. Crying, sobbing uncontrollably.
Print the shirts.
On that occasion.
I cried real tears.
So
we all did.
What year was that?
2009, January 2010.
So how old would he have been at that point?
12.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
11, 12 years old.
Yeah. I just did that math real quick.
And that's not bad.
Kyler Murray effect already. My math has improved. We should pause now and then come back and take another break probably before KOC and Brzezinski.
Yeah, maybe get
a
minute or two with them.
Yeah, we can finish the show with them, essentially, is what I'm saying. So let's get ahead of it.
Outside our window here in St. Louis Park, another tsunami has begun. Forecast I've seen from the Weather Terrace regarding Sunday is a range of from a dusting to 15 inches of snow in the South Metro. And I'm not kidding. That's the range I've seen. So I don't know if we're close enough to then to know what's happening. It's wet snow falling here in St. Louis Park right now. How much celebration is going on in the Twin Cities right now among Vikings fans? You've got a veteran quarterback to, at the very least, compete with the alleged incumbent, the kid, J.J. McCarthy. Kyler Murray just met the Jackals via Zoom, and he was asked a question about expectations in terms of starting, competing, and he played it about as diplomatically as one would expect, which is he said, I'm here to learn and compete. He did not put down any kind of a declaration that I expect to be the starter because that is what has been promised me. That doesn't mean they didn't have that conversation. I'm not surprised that he doesn't think there's much of an upside for him to get that specific. Will we get any more specific information on that issue, or will it be even greater word salad from one of the great word saladers of all time? He can mix. I mean, nobody can toss a word salad quite like KOC. And he's supposed to meet the Jackals scheduled time 6:10, correct? Along with Rob Brzezinski.
With Briz.
So the idea here is a shorty now to give us a little bit more time to go all the way to the end of the show and get some of the meat, we hope, of what the head coach, because really, let's face it, that we need to know that more even than, no offense to Rob Brzezinski, what the quarterback whisperer thinks exactly about all of that. I'm not seeing via the text line any sort of rush to, my God, there's no stopping us now. There's some people who seem okay. There's some people who say, it is what it is. But I think people will warm to it because it's human nature and because you want to think, if this guy figures it out and they figure it out with him, then maybe you got a chance of actually getting somewhere. So the story will be fleshed out in more detail. The only thing we seem to know, according to the Jackals, is the part of the deal is a stipulation that the Vikings will be unable to, even if they wanted to, franchise him. The old, all right, we don't want to give you a long-term contract if it goes well, but we'll franchise you for one big payday for 1 year. That is not going to be an option, which I think you could argue effectively means that the J.J. McCarthy era is over. Unless he bombs or gets hurt, right? That's the other X factor. Maybe Murray starts and 3 games in, he gets hurt. JJ comes off the bench and the rest is history. You never know. That's the beauty of us always saying that the players have the last word. Let's get another pause in now and hope that extra time on the back end will pay off as we try to get the comments from the head coach. And what do we call him? Briz?
Briz.
Briz is the nickname for Rob Brzezinski. Stay tuned.
Presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the bumper-to-bumper show wrap.
All right, we expect any minute KOC and the acting general manager, Rob Brzezinski, to conduct a Zoom presser as well after the Vikings' new veteran quarterback presence, Kyler Murray, did exactly that. We were able to play all of that on the Fan Live just a few minutes ago, and we'll play as much as we can of this Q&A, which Gaardsy tells me is expected in just a minute or two. I want to thank Craig Kilborn. Great stuff from him today. His first visit on the show for quite some time with a major announcement at the end of it. Not Kyler Murray related. Good Russo radio stuff today. The inbox we put off for the obvious reason. Also had good conversation on the World Baseball Classic with the incomparable Kevin Kernan. So all of this will be podcastable later on the program. There'll be a lot more Kyler Murray follow-up tomorrow. Ben Gessling among our guests, Lavelle. Who knows who else could be a part of the festivities as we continue to try to cover the story, as, of course, only we can do. And as I said, if we're lucky, this thing will start close to on time. I'm assuming the number one question, again, Seifert got to it early with Kyler, is, is he the starter? Is he guaranteed to be the starter? And I'm going to guess they're going to hem and haw around it, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe they'll be declarative and say we're not even going to mess with it. Let's listen in right now.
Well, hang on.
Oh, not quite there?
They are sending it to Briz and Kevin O'Connell. Here we go.
Guys? Questions?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Appreciate everybody being ready to jump on, and glad we can do this. It's been a really productive start to the new league year. This is going through it now. For multiple years. It's never lost on me just this time of year, from decisions that have to be made, difficult ones, emotions involved with all the relationships we build up with our guys, and some of which move on to some great opportunities, some of which we're able to get back with us, which we're really excited about. And then it's always about what types of new additions can you add to your team. And in the case that Kyler Murray and James Pierre, we're really excited about those additions. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but I did want to also, start out here and just say how impressed I've been just with Rob, the personnel staff, the coaching staff, the type of work that's been done together in a way that has allowed a lot of really talented people in their roles to be maximized, but also to continue to grow together and how we look at this game, how we look at our team, the culture of our organization, and what we're attempting to always do, which is continuously improve and try to keep chasing what we want to accomplish here. In regards to signing Kyler Murray, I know you guys just got a chance to speak to him virtually. Really excited about the opportunity to add a talent like Kyler Murray, a guy who's, really what he's done on the field, has always been something that from the time, evaluating him coming out in the draft to now, he's always been a guy I've really kept an eye on and just really watched his quarterback journey, throughout his time in Arizona, and anytime getting a chance to compete against him, or anytime I've been able to connect with him, I've always appreciated the person. I've always appreciated my relationship with him. And today was really something that I thoroughly enjoyed, getting to spend a good amount of time with him, getting him around some of our other coaches and some of the folks that are so impactful to our players' success in this building down on the first floor as well. And it was a really productive day, that culminated with Kyler signing a contract to be a quarterback on our team. And I think we accomplished a goal, which was to add a really talented player with some experience in that room, and something that I'm really excited about as we set out to kind of raise the elevate that quarterback room, and the situation in that quarterback room being very competitive, and each player, whether it's JJ or Max or Kyler, attacking it every day and really being a driving force behind not only our offense's improvement for the 26th season, but our entire football team, and not only, Kyler, but James Pierre as well. James Pierre is a guy that both personnel and our coaching staff identified as a guy that could really help our team A guy that we competed against and played against last year in Ireland against the Steelers. Obviously, GA having the relationship that he did, having coached him. We feel really good about the player that we're bringing in, a guy that, loves football and knows that really what's exciting is, I think, both in Kyler and James's situations, I think, our excitement is we believe their best football could still be in front of them. And, it's on us, and it's something we love about this job and getting the fortunate opportunity to coach this team is to help players get to that truest potential and highest versions of themselves to go accomplish some things. So very early still in the off season, but like I said, the work that Rob and his staff and the coaching staff have done collectively together. Look forward now to obviously continuing any opportunity to improve our team that we can, but also most importantly as we dive deep into the draft season, finishing this this process of making additions to our roster off in a really positive way. So go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, not much to add. Just a productive start to our off season, and what we've been planning to do. Some tough decisions as well. Like KO said, this is a family here, and we're it's about the people. So that's never easy. Personnel staff, coaching staff, been working very well together. Just want to give a special shout out to Matt Thomas and Emily Batis. This was a challenging year navigating our finances and our cap, and they did a tremendous job. And very thankful for them and the personnel leadership staff and everybody in personnel, banding together. And but like KO said, we still have a lot of work to do. We're just barely out of the gate here.
All right, we'll hand it over to questions. Start throwing names in the chat, please.
Excuse me.
All right, we'll start with Ben and to Alec, and you guys can take it from there.
Yeah, Kevin, just wanted to ask, with Kyler coming in, how do you see him fitting in this offense, and how much is it a matter of him kind of doing what you guys do versus making possibly some alterations to go with some of the things he does well?
Yeah, first and foremost, when you actually, dive in and really study, snap in and snap out, Kyler's experience at the position, you do see a lot of, really, really great qualities that fit into some of the things that we ask our quarterbacks to do. I think Kyler's an accurate player. I think he's really learned to play with very, very solid fundamentals, in the pass game. I think his ability and just experience playing from an NFL pocket has proven to be something that, he can make all the throws and all of those things. But, I think the big thing for all of us here is continuing to try to find a way in each year over year, to do the things that, players do well, not just the quarterback, but the types of routes we ask the receivers to run, the types of things we're doing in the run game with the backs and the O-line and tight ends, and that will always remain to be true. But honestly, something that, I'm looking to continue to improve at myself and with my coaching staff of including some of the new additions that were all brought here for a reason on the coaching staff, and I feel really good about where we are at, as a staff in our preparations for our players to come back into the building for the off-season program. But yeah, we're going to be, we've kind of seen, just the way either we've been defended, Justin Jefferson, the way he's been defended, things we've attempted to, make improvements at over the course of my 4 years here, while also understanding that the foundation of what we built has been a positive one. We took a step back in 2025, and we've got to make sure we're doing the things. And if that's, additional concepts, things that players do well. That's things that we're going to do, and that's what building a system year over year and year in and year out is all about. And then it's about teaching the techniques and the fundamentals of all of those things and repping those things and making sure by the time we get to the end of training camp and as we roll into the season, Ben, we want to be able to have a lot of confidence that how that's going to really unveil itself to our fans and our opponents as well. But I would say also, with Kyler, Ben, the ability to make a lot of throws in the pocket is absolutely paired with the ability to be a real weapon with his athleticism, his quickness, his ability to, not only attack the line of scrimmage as a runner, but maintaining the ability to create some throwing opportunities off schedule and hopefully be a challenge for the way we're defended with with how people do play Justin and allocating extra resources that way, and with Jordan Addison and TJ and obviously Jordan and Aaron and all the other guys we're gonna have in that huddle, as well as a healthy offensive line. I'm very, very excited about the possibilities of what we're going to be able to do in 2026.
Dan Barrero, KFAN Radio. Will he start on opening day?
Hey, Kevin, can you just describe the level of background you did on this one, whether it's film study or conversations, just with Kyler? How much work did you kind of put into it?
Yeah, it works a lot of different ways, Alec, because I think, I didn't need to be reminded of it, but, when seasons don't go your way and frustration can set in sometimes, internally and externally, there was a lot of interest in playing quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, as you can imagine. And, not something that we ever take for granted or take lightly, but we take a lot of pride in how we coach not only the position, but, our offensive, success that we've had, but at the same time where we want to take this thing, as well as the building that's been put together here from a standpoint of the resources the Wilfs have provided us, the great people we have that help these players walk into what we want to be a one-of-one, building in the National Football League. And I think a lot of our players have attested to that, but it's not about maintaining that. It's about making it better. In regards to Kyler, yeah, there's an extensive film study where you're evaluating the player, but you're also getting a head start on really, really learning what the player has done, some of the concepts that they've run, the ease at which they run those concepts of throwing a lot of completions and playing with great rhythm and timing with footwork in the pocket, of both clean pockets and the NFL pockets that you see with the types of pass rush that you play against. And then, the conversations that you have. I've joked with you guys before, when you're the type of player I was in the NFL, where you were involuntarily, in a lot of buildings and around a lot of people as a player, and then obviously getting to do some of those same things as a coach, you get to have a wide net to be able to make sure that you have a lot of great conversations with people and really understand, really for the betterment of the player you're bringing in, how best to coach him, how best to connect with him. And then that's why today was so fun, Alec, is you're getting to spend that time in person and for an extended period of time in the one-on-one setting that allows you to throw the tape on and talk through some things, and then you might pause that for a few minutes and you're talking about life and you're talking about just adversity that how either one of us have handled. And it's not a one-way street. It's not a job interview for him that it's just where we're just sitting there listening all day. I think it's important that Kyler learned a lot about me, learned a lot about who I am authentically every day in this building, because I think that's a big part of building that relationship, so that you can coach a guy hard and you can help him, improve and be a really consistent player within our team. And there's a lot of layers to that, but it's a big it's a big process, especially at this position, and one that I think ended with a really positive outcome today, adding Kyler to our team.
Go to Kevin and into Dave.
Yeah, Kevin, we had talked a lot previously in the offseason about creating competition for JJ, and obviously we didn't know who it would be with yet. But now that we know it's Kyler, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of spell out, to the extent that you can, like how you see this playing out with the two of those guys, or with Kyler in particular, and in terms of how that will eventually end up.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, it's March. We signed Kyler today, and what I can tell you is the goal of adding a talented player like Kyler to the room was about creating an environment for all of our quarterbacks, JJ and Max, with Kyler added to that room as well, where all of those guys individually, no matter where they're at in their quarterback journey, we create a world where guys are pushing each other, and guys are by their own growth and development or their own ascension are not only just doing that themselves, but they're creating a new standard and elevating that floor, so that that will benefit not only those players individually, it'll benefit the collective group of guys in that room that Josh is running, and then ultimately, because the position is so vital to offensive success in the National Football League, it will elevate our offense and our team. And what that looks like, reps and all those things, I know that I'm really excited to dive into all of that. And I can tell you, JJ's, I talked to him this week. We had, a great conversation, and as we have most of the offseason, about the good work that he's done. He's got, he's focused on what's out in front of him personally, and he's attacking that every single day. He's doing great, and as well as Max is, and I know that through the off-season program and as you guys know, I like to call it that learning phase and teaching phase, where we're really trying to hone in on the details, teach how to do things, teach why we do things, so our players have that ownership at all positions, not just the quarterback position. So as we approach training camp and we have a clear vision of how we want to best maximize those reps, and maybe we'll have some clarity at that point. But at that point, we're still going to want to make sure that all of those guys are in a situation where they can keep ascending.
So just to be clear though, so you view it as a competition, or you just view it as not knowing today in March who the starting quarterback is?
Yeah, unless I'm confused in any way, shape, or form, I don't believe we have to name one of those currently. Look, like I said, it was a great visit with Kyler. It was great discussions about where he's at as a player, the types of things that I'm really excited about, maybe tapping into and helping him continue to grow. He's got a lot of experience. He's a very talented player, and we've got a clear vision for what that looks like. And ultimately, what we have to do, Kevin, is what's best for our football team, and what will equate to us winning football games and playing good football consistently. And that's our plan. And what that looks like right now here on March 12th is something I'm very excited about as we begin and then carry out that process of constant improvement, constant growth, and in Kyler's circumstances, getting as comfortable as he can with our offense. But as Ben alluded to earlier, that's going to be something where we've still got some time to build our plans for those spring installations and what this offense is going to look like. And I'm excited about the differences that will exist in our offense, the things that will be in for the betterment of what our players do really, really well, and then we're going to go attack that.
I guess this is for Kevin or Rob, whoever wants to take it, but I'm just curious, how many other legitimate options do you guys feel like you had? Talking at the combine about really had to leave no stone unturned and look at all the possibilities. But, Kyler from the outside seemed like a pretty best case scenario for what you're looking for.
Yeah, I can let Rob weigh in as well, but all I would just say is we really wanted to have a pretty wide lens as far as, the types of players that would be available. You really do that at every position, Dave, every single year. And it just so happened to be that this was a priority for us to be able to really pinpoint the type of player we wanted to add. And I think the biggest thing was we had to be thorough, and we had to do that because there was, pretty wide encompassing interest from a lot of guys that had the ability to choose, maybe where their next home would be, as well as other players. So, Rob, I don't know if you want to weigh in any more on that.
No, I think it's just a credit to ownership and KO and the culture, that's been created here. We don't take for granted that players want to play here. And, Kay and I were talking earlier, it's a standard that we're very focused to maintain and hopefully grow.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Rob, just kind of how you would characterize the first week or so of the league year, at least of free agency, and the starting Monday. And obviously the volume has not been what it's been in the past in terms of number of players signed or finances. And just kind of how would you kind of describe what the approach has been and what the hope for outcomes are?
We had a plan that we devised together, and I'm just really proud of the way everybody worked together, identifying some targets that we were able to reach agreements with, and there's others we weren't. But I think I'm really most proud of the patience. We talked about stacking good decisions. We don't play football until September, and our goal was to make good decisions and not feel like we needed to do anything desperate, and just really grateful also for TJ and AJ, reworking their contracts to find a middle ground. These were two players and two people that are really important to our football team and to KO and our locker room. And for those guys and their representatives to be gracious enough to work through those contracts and find a middle ground was really awesome. So I feel like we've navigated responsibly the future versus being competitive this year. And I feel like we're in a really good spot. But like we keep saying, there's a long way to go.
This could be for either of you guys, but I just wonder, you guys have both talked about wanting to maximize the quarterback room and get it to as great of a level as possible. Do you guys feel like it's there now, or will exploring further depth, will that be something you guys are interested in doing?
Rob, I can't see. Are you about to?
No, go ahead, KO. Go ahead. You got it.
Wonderful Zoom setting. Alec, what I would tell you is, we're always looking for, any players in any positions that, we can accomplish the goals that Rob were just talking about of, being a really competitive team and being the most competitive team while also having a mindset on the future as well. And doing that in a way, working together has been really, it's been really fun. I mean, I've learned a lot and continuing to rely on the fact that, Alec, we're, both Rob and I are very, very fortunate to have some really talented people we get to work with from an evaluation standpoint, from a standpoint of how people maybe see players and see the game maybe subtly differently here and there, but the way they can come together and have conversations and dialogue that equal really good outcomes. So we're going to continue to, do that, whether it is, still, as we continue through the opportunity to add NFL free agents and players that are available, while also, really turning our focus to the draft, because we know how important it is to add, really good young players in the draft.
We'll go to Kevin, and then two more questions after Ben.
Yeah, Kevin, I was curious to follow up when you mentioned, I think when I first asked my question about the way Justin gets covered and the way you guys get covered because of that. Has the time that you've spent coaching Justin kind of made you think differently at all about what a mobile quarterback can do to make teams pay for keeping safeties back and maybe having a fewer guys committed to the run game?
Yeah, I think that's that's obviously a part of it. A lot of Justin's touches, when it can be the most conducive times to try to get him the football, have to come on some of those early downs, Ben, because you've seen as close as you all are watching our team and really getting into the layers of how we're defended. When you're in those pass likely situations like a third down, some of those weighty downs that Flo and I talk about, it becomes a full scale. For sure that the starting point of the conversation of how to defend us is about two things. It's about defending Justin Jefferson, and it's about doing so with the ability to get pressure on the quarterback. On those early downs, you're always fighting that battle of...
Gaardsy, why don't we fade this out? I think we got the key to that. I want to at least try to sum up what we've heard, which isn't a lot, but we felt, for the obvious reasons, as the Viking station, we wanted to cover it for the record. Press conference involving the head coach, Kevin O'Connell, and the acting general manager, Rob Brzezinski. And I'm well aware that if you ask the direct question, is he your starting quarterback? They can answer it the same way that certainly KOC often does. I still wish it would have been asked that directly. What it sounded like KOC was saying is it's March. We don't have to make a decision right now, which is true.
Yeah.
But I actually will tell you, again, and maybe I live in a dream world, that if you want to present this as we've got Kyler Murray and we know what to do with him and there's a reason we wanted him, we're willing to take him, and that is, we expect him to be our starting quarterback. To me, that's a better way to present it, as positive, as in, we're in on this. We believe in this guy. We're going to approach this with some boldness rather than sort of, we just want to improve the quarterback room. Because that's really not why you do this. It's just not. You do this because you don't trust one guy, or you think the other guy gives you a chance at an upgrade at the position. Now, I said earlier, in my perfect world, what you say is, guys, we still believe in JJ? Because I wouldn't have had a problem with this answer. We still believe in JJ, and we love what Kyler Murray represents. We're going to have a competition like we do at a lot of positions. We got neither. We sort of got the word salad middle ground.
It's March,
and it's
no
March,
games yet,
et cetera. And we love our culture, and we get all of that. So, put it this way: as we wrap up, we appreciate those hanging with us. We did go long today because of the circumstance.
Thank you, Connecticut Water Systems, for Fan on Demand on the air tonight.
Even better,
which was Kevin O'Connell and Rob Brzezinski. Thank you, Connecticut.
I will be very surprised if Kyler Murray does not start, barring injury, as the starter first game of the season. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
I think that's where we're at with it. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for watching. Lots more follow-up coming overnight and into tomorrow as well. Minnesota Wild hockey coming up on the Fan, with Fan on Demand, the air, graciously stepping aside. It's selfless. It's a selfless segment.
That's Brett Blakemore for you.
That's exactly it. We appreciate his fine work, nevertheless.
He was actually going to host it, but this snowstorm, he's caught in traffic.
Wow. You couldn't help it, could you?
And he's helping me out tomorrow. He's in for me tomorrow, so why would I do that?
Back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll talk then.
Tweet that. The stories a stadium could tell.
Brian Yaz.